Our next story is from Africa, from Niger in the west. The country made global headlines in 2023 because of a coup. Niger's military overthrew their democratically elected president in the name of national security. It's been 20 months since then. Security is still down in the dumps. Terror attacks are more frequent than before the coup, and the country is heading down an all too familiar path. The leader of Niger's military junta has declared himself president. His unelected term will last 5 years at least, because apparently the term is flexible. It's the same story that keeps playing out in Africa and beyond. Here's our report.
These are scenes from Niger in July 2023. The military was orchestrating a coup. They were detaining the democratically elected president, Mohamed Bazoum. The people on the streets were thrilled. They were angry at their government for failing to put an end to terrorist attacks in the country, and for allegedly being pawns of France, Niger's former colonial overlord. So, the people of Niger thought military rule would be better. That's why they were celebrating the coup. Niger's military is certainly no pawn of the French. That part seemingly held true. But on the terror front, the junta has proved to be worse than the old Bazoum government. Terrorism has been on the rise, which was to be expected, because the junta got rid of a coalition of Western forces, anti-terror forces led by the French and the Americans. The move was great for optics. It helped to reinforce the anti-colonial narrative, but fewer boots on the ground was bound to help terrorism thrive. It seems this was the price the people of Niger had to pay, to be free of French and Western soldiers in their backyard. Niger's military junta has been hyping this up, appealing to nationalist pride and finding excuses for their abject failure to deal with terror. They keep blaming everyone else for their failures: France, the US, even other West African countries, members of the regional grouping ECOWAS. Niger's junta says that all these external forces are working to undermine them. Simultaneously, the junta keeps expanding its own power. They made a fresh power grab yesterday.
From this moment on, the President of the Republic of Niger, Head of State, Army General Abdourahmane Tiani,
The junta chief, Abdourahmane Tiani, was officially declared the president of Niger. The coup leader is now an unelected president, and he will remain so for 5 years. At least, that's what they're saying right now, because this unelected presidential term is apparently flexible.
The duration of the transition period is set at 60 months from the date of its promulgation. This duration is flexible depending on the country's security situation, the burden of the reform, and the agenda of the Confederation of Sahel States.
The junta chief's term depends on a number of factors, including what happens in the neighboring countries Mali and Burkina Faso. All three nations, Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso, are ruled by military juntas, and their juntas have banded together into a group called the Confederation of Sahel States. They all seem to be following the same playbook too. First, they orchestrate coups, and then they promise to return their countries to democracy within a short transition period. Niger's junta chief did this too, back in August 2023.
Within this framework, the stakeholders who will be invited will set about formulating concrete proposals within 30 days, leading to 1. Define the fundamental principles that should govern our transition. 2. Define the priority of the transition, which should last no longer than a few months.
But somehow, the junta leaders never follow through. They all find excuses to extend the time frame, and the junta leaders somehow all get sworn in as president. It's the exact same playbook, all over West Africa, and the world in general. In Myanmar, the junta took control in 2021. They have been clinging to power there since then. They keep postponing elections too. It's the same story almost every time a military takes control via a coup. So Niger's case is not unique. It's just the latest example of what happens when you let a military dictatorship take root.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India, what we saw in Kashmir.
How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.